Chris, hope you're doing well, buddy, other than being up to your eyeballs in preparation for things the next few days.
I am doing great, Chris. Thanks for having me back on. I'll just say, do you even know which city you're in, or how are you even speaking today after the week you've had?
Yeah, me not knowing where I am is not an uncommon occurrence. I just happen to have an excuse with what's transpired the last few days, but it was fun. I don't have to tell you that. It was well worth the extensive effort to get from point A to point B back to point A again. So
you had a successful weekend for Alabama. So
yeah,
but yeah, we're here in town. Been here since Sunday night, and I'm glad this weather's here today and not tomorrow. But other than the rain, everything is good, and we're right on track to get going tomorrow afternoon.
All right, let's talk first of all, and want to talk about some of the nuts and bolts of it. Like, if somebody's here in town and they want to be able to see all the games or most of them as best their schedule will allow, is there a one-ticket type of deal they can purchase for all of it, or each of them individual?
Each one's individual, but
Okay.
online there is a discount to buy each one online. So by the time if somebody wanted to buy, let's say 7 tickets, and they bought it online at preptix.com, because of the discount, you'd end up almost getting one game free. So there is a way, and if you buy a ticket in the morning you don't have to buy all 7 games separately. So the 2 days that we have 3 games, if you come in the morning and buy a ticket, you stay in. So that's a confusing answer, it sounds like, but if you come and go every time, it's in an individual ticket. If you come and stay for the day, you can get in on one ticket.
Gotcha. So you're not emptying the stadium after each session then, right?
That's correct.
Okay, good deal. That's and again, it is a 3-day setup now since you've gone to the 7th classification. It starts on Wednesday night, and what a way to get it started. Spain Park keeping the run going for the city of Hoover as they knocked off the Bucks, but they've got a really good program out of Mobile and McGill-Tulane coming up.
Yeah, we've got a good matchup. McGill is excited. It's their first appearance in Super 6 and now what we call Super 7, and it's the first Wednesday game here in Tuscaloosa. So we started with 7A last year in Auburn, and this is the first time in Tuscaloosa. So Wednesday night game, what we call, technically prime time for high school sports, avoiding the Saturday of college football. So we're expecting a really big turnout from Spain Park, who hadn't been here in 9 years, and then McGill, who's never been, and a prideful school out of Mobile. So the 7A matchup, we think we've hit a home run with it, as have we with almost every matchup. We've got 3 teams local to Birmingham, 1 in Fayette County, and then the others scattered across the state, but all big followings.
Yeah, and let's go with Thursday. It's a full day, the first of 2 of those where you'll go all day long, basically. An 11 o'clock start for Bayside Academy in Piedmont, Maplesville, Cedar Bluff, and St. Paul's and Mortimer Jordan. St. Paul's out of Mobile, I know Chris is one that's produced some pretty good talent, most notably a couple of quarterbacks as of late for Alabama. But I've seen Mortimer Jordan play and actually called the only game they lost this year, a great one to Alexandria, and apparently they played every bit as good a game against the Valley Cubs in the semifinals to earn their way there. But that one, man, on Thursday night should be a great matchup as well.
Yeah, St. Paul's has been here a lot, as you mentioned. The last time, they won it last year, and then a few years back, I looked out. I was at the game here, and they had Mark Barron and A.J. McCarron in the same backfield. So they do produce a lot of players, as you said, and then Mortimer Jordan making their first appearance, and they'll be bringing a lot of people and a lot of momentum. So we're looking for every game is really good matchups. As if you get this far, it doesn't matter what your record is, but every one of these teams has at least 10 wins, I believe. So every game on paper should be really close.
Yeah, I'm looking, and I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4 different teams that are playing in your 7 different classifications. I broadcast their games this year on My 68, and one of those is Leeds, which frankly could probably contend in a higher classification than 4A, but good grief, are they talented.
Yeah, Leeds has been plowing through people lately. I talked to their coach the other day. They started with a pretty tough schedule, and they'll pretty much play anybody, but lately they haven't had a close game as of late. So we'll see Fayette County coming in. We'll see if Fayette County can stand toe-to-toe against the 4A power Leeds. But I know Fayette's been playing well as of late, and being right down the road, they should have a good group of supporters. So that's a good game on paper as well for, I believe, Friday afternoon. Friday morning.
Yeah, that'll be the first one at 11. And look, as you said, there's not a bad game in the 7 on paper, but if you got to finish, you're finishing strong. Clay Chalkville, Spanish Fort, 2 undefeated teams, 2 quarterbacks that have never lost games in a starting role for their respective squads. And, of course, Clay Chalkville won it all last year. But these two know each other well, Chris, and that is one heck of a way to wrap everything up on Friday night.
It really is, and keeping 6A on Friday night was by design. That's how it's always been, and it's still bringing one of the premier matchups. Last year, Clay played Saraland in one of the best high school games I've ever seen. It was literally whoever had the ball last. I think Saraland did get stopped, but they had to drive late. So I expect the same thing this week. Spanish Fort is back. The quarterback committed, I saw, to UAB this week. So that's a good local story. Tyler Johnston, really good player. He was hurt last year. So they're back. New coach in his first year has got them rolling again. And Clay Chalkville, I believe, has won 29 straight. I may have misread that, but I think that's the number. And Jerry Hood does a tremendous job there, and they're building a true powerhouse there. They've got 3 offensive stars that'll all play college football, led by the quarterback you mentioned, who has also never lost a start. So we expect that game to be in the 40s to end the week on a good note again.
Yeah, Terrell Pigram, who I believe was the 6A back of the year and could be Mr. Football in the state this season. They're tremendous, really talented squad. So again, they can order their tickets ahead at preptix.com. You can buy them there at the gate, obviously, Chris, for each of the games. Tell me something they need to know parking-wise. How much of the setup is similar to what you'd have on a regular college football game day for everybody?
Yeah, you'll see. I mean, obviously on a lower scale, but you'll see similar groups running the outside of the event, the TPD and the UAPD, and then the event operations group. There will be people stationed all around the stadium. Signage throughout the campus for the night game for the local fans for 7A. There's no shuttle service, but there is a dedicated lot behind Publix that will be reserved for Super 7, free Super 7 parking. Then the 10 Hoover area at 5 o'clock when class is out will also be available. So all of 7A parking we're pushing and directing, and there will be people directing everyone down there to that walking distance for the night game. Then 8 a.m. both days, there's shuttle services up in the commuter lots up by the softball complex. 10 Hoover and that reserve lot will still be available, limited 10 Hoover area because of campus, but then as we roll into late afternoon, we're trying to get all the night crowds to park close so they can walk, although there will be shuttle services, and all this is free. Parking's free, shuttles are free. I mentioned the Tuscaloosa Sports Commission and Mayor Maddox and the city and the University of Alabama officials and staff. I mean, we've met with, I bet it's been 150 cumulative people, and every one of them have been supportive of this event. And really, it's amazing. I said this on Jocks this morning. It's amazing that these campuses, Alabama and Auburn, we're the only one in the country that has rotating between rival schools. A lot of high school students get to play at South Carolina. They play at South Carolina, and other schools, they do this, but we're the only state that I know of that has it in two of the largest facilities in college football, really in all of football. So for this university and the folks in Tuscaloosa to open their stadium and open their city really for high school student athletes, 99% of these kids won't play, another snap after this week. So we can't say enough. We're just behind the scenes managing and trying to put all that together, but we can't say enough about how great the people have been to work with here on campus and really open. And they give us the run of the stadium. Let us pretty much we produce it just like a college football game. So a lot of familiar things for game day, but we're really trying to get everybody funneled to the same spot to park.
And I will also say, in terms of making it like a college game day, one of the really cool things, I'm sure, for each participating team, Walk of Champions is something they'll get a chance to enjoy as well.
Yes, we encourage. In fact, we do everything but require them, and of course, no team even thinks about not doing it. So, about 2 hours and 5 minutes before each game, the home team goes, and then about 15 to 20 minutes later, the visitors go. So they literally, they go to a hotel, spend the night before, just like a college team does, and they get UAPD police escort into the Walk of Champions. They get off their bus, they walk the 100 yards that it is or whatever it is into the stadium. So their fans will be there early supporting them. It really will be a neat scene to see these high school kids. Coach Tavares tells the story of the first year here in '09. The Piedmont coach, Piedmont's back in it this year again, but he stepped off the bus. It was the first Walk of Champions at 9 in the morning, and the head coach had tears in his eyes. So then the head coach the other day said, yes, that's a true story. So it's pretty special for these little, some of them small communities, some of them big, but it's a great event for them to experience.